Earth has been throughout history the scene of many terrifying and strange events. From monster sightings to unexplained disappearances, this planet will always be a mystery. So don't get off the screen, because this time we'll go over the strangest things that happened in history. Number 5. The entity of the sewer. This case starts from a very particular photo taken in 1967 in the sewers of Paris. In the image you can see a not very long stretch in a pipe, but what arouses curiosity is the presence of two very bright eyes at the end of the path. The person who took the photograph was unable to discover what was really in it. His desire to know was so great that he even offered a reward to anyone who could explain the phenomenon. The years have passed and the truth still does not come to light. What was in those eyes? Was it some unknown entity or just a hidden animal? These are questions that will continue to cause concern in many people. Number 4. The boat without navigator. The history of this boat goes back to Beauvais, the most uninhabited and isolated place in the world. It all started in 1964. At that time, a scientific expedition was sent there to study an inactive crater. Due to weather conditions, it took them a few days to land. Once ashore, Captain Alan Crawford sighted in a small distant lagoon something similar to a small boat. The team didn't believe it until they came closer and found that it was effectively a boat. It was half flooded and totally abandoned, although not useless. The expedition investigated the surroundings and obtained a few findings. They discovered oars, wood, and even a barrel. Everything seemed to indicate that someone had manipulated the boat. However, they were never able to find their identity. Everyone wondered, how could someone have gotten to such a remote place since there were no trade routes nearby? Since then, countless theories have arisen to explain its origin, although to the present date it continues to be a mystery, and it may never cease to be. Number 3. The Snake of 1937. The history of this snake dates back to 1817 in August. It was around that time that some fishermen from Massachusetts claimed to have seen a huge creature in the sea. It also had a head with horns. A large part of the community was skeptical of this. The strange incident continued happening and sowing fears for years. Finally, in 1937, the monster made the headlines. This time it was a fisherman named Bill Menville who claimed to have seen it. According to him, it was 100 feet long, green, and had dazzling eyes and a barrel-shaped head. A little later, another fisherman also observed the creature. He himself, driven by curiosity, investigated with a friend until they found some giant footprints in the sand. Naturally, they took photographs of them and sent them for analysis. The people in charge of the task refuted the possibility that it was real. But the truly sad thing happened when it was discovered that it was an inflatable doll. This one had been created by puppeteer Tony Sarg to put Nantucket in the news. Number 2. The ghost ship navigating commercial waters. Again we come across a boat, except this time the phenomenon goes back to 2013, when a Russian unmanned ship was moving freely across the ocean. The ship had been in operation for years, but the most terrifying thing was that at that time a rumor spread that the ship was occupied by cannibal rats. It was known that the ship had been towed by another for some time. However, it detached itself from it and was left floating adrift. It was later rescued and strangely lost again due to the Atlantic currents. The rats were the only crew on this ship, and according to many experts, these rodents under extreme circumstances tend to cannibalism. And so it is today. This ship still circulates with this mysterious and grotesque crew. Number 1. Superman seen by pilots of an airplane. Like the previous one, this moment is also recent. It took place in June 2014, where the Airbus 320 pilots claimed to have seen a man fly with them as they passed through Macclesfield, England. The pilots immediately reported the event to the control tower, but nothing was found in the radars. No index of movement. Consequently, the enigma remained unresolved, and it was called the Superman of Macclesfield. Zero Zone. The Flatwoods Monster. The history of this monster goes back to September the 12th, 1952. That day, brothers Fred and Edward May and their friend Tommy Hyer claimed to have witnessed a shiny phenomenon. It seemed to cross the sky. They immediately reported the event to the mother of the first two boys. Shortly thereafter, a search for that strange object was organized, but without success. Only a little of its physical appearance could be theorized. Apparently the object was a creature 3 meters tall with a reddish face. Its body was green and its eyes looked inhuman. There is no doubt that this planet is home to an innumerable list of strange events.